Hello everyone, welcome to WebDev Ninja. In this video, we'll be discussing on how to flatten a JavaScript nested object. This question is also asked in a lot of interviews as well. So the problem statement is that you are given a nested object and you need to flatten that object in this manner. So you can see here that all the keys are combined and made into one key and the value is assigned to that key. So we see that a underscore b underscore c becomes 1, then a underscore b underscore d becomes 2, then a underscore e underscore f becomes 3, g underscore h became 3. For this array, indexes are 0, 1 and 2. So I underscore 0 became 1, I underscore 1 became 2, and I underscore 2 became 3. So how do we approach this problem? If you can see, if we just traverse each of the objects in a loop until we reach a value, we can get the answer. So what we can do is we can start traversing the object A and we can check if its type is of object or not. If it's type of object, we'll start traversing A's value, which is an object, and then we'll get B and E. For B, we'll check if its type is object or not. If it's type object, then we'll start traversing its value, which is C and D. Here C's type is not object, so we'll assign value 1 to the traversed keys, and then we'll go to D. We again see that its type is not object, so we'll assign A underscore B underscore D as 2. Similarly for rest of the keys. Also it will work for these type of values where the value is a array, because arrays are also objects in JavaScript. So we don't need to handle this separately. So how do we do that? We traverse each of the key present in the object. So for let key in object, we'll flatten the value related to that key. So we'll flatten that key. So what we need to pass is the object related to that key and that key to this function, and we'll store our answer in an answer object. Okay, so let's start creating our flatten function. So it will be const flatten is equal to, and this will take an object as a parameter and a key as a parameter. I'll call the object parameter as current obj and key as current key. So what we'll do is, if the type of object which we are traversing is actually object, then what we'll do is, for this object, a will be passed as new key and the object will be this. Then internally what we'll check is type of b, which will again will be object. So a underscore b will be passed as the key and this will be passed as object. Next we'll check for this. This is not of type object, so we'll have a underscore b underscore c as the value, as the key, and this will become the value. So let me type that out. If its type is object, what we'll do is, for let key in current obj, I'll again call the flatten function to flat this current object. So it will be current object key, and our new key will become a underscore, sorry, it won't be a, it will be current key plus underscore plus our key. Else, if it's not of type object, what we'll do is, in our answer we have our current key and the value will be current obj. So let's do a dry run of our code and let's see how does this work. So we have our object here, and for that object we are calling this for loop, and inside that for loop we are taking each of these keys of this object. So initially we'll take the key a and we'll call flatten function. Inside that flatten function we'll pass object of key, which is object of a, so we'll pass in this object and the key will go as a. So initially our current key is a. Inside that we, and our current object is this part, Now we check the type of current object, which is of type object. So it will go into this if loop. Inside that if loop, it will start traversing this object and it will call again the flatten function with current object key. So current object and key currently here is B. So it will call flatten function with this object and the key will go in as current key, which is our A underscore, and the key which is currently being traversed, which is B. So our current key will become B. Okay. Now it will go again in this flatten function. Our current object is this one and our current key is A underscore B. It will now check the type of our current object. Our current object is this. So it will again go inside this if loop. It will start traversing this object and will check for key C. So now it will again call flatten function with current object of key and key is C. So it will pass 1 here, which is this value. It is this value. It will pass 1 here and our key will become current key, which is A underscore B, and then one more underscore and the current key, which is C. So now this flatten function will be called with current object being 1 and our current key being A underscore B underscore C. Now it will check the type of current object, which is not object, so it will go into else loop. Inside this else loop, we'll update our current key, which is answer current key, and we'll assign the value, which is our current obj. Similarly, it will go for A underscore B underscore D. Similarly, A underscore E underscore F, G underscore H, I underscore 0, I underscore 1, and I underscore 2. Now let's console log our answer and see what is it logging. Let's run this and we see our answer. It's what we expected. So this is a simple function to flatten out a nested object in JavaScript. If you like the approach, do give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if there's a better answer to this code. I'll see you in the next one.